I'm Joanna.
And me, Alexandra. And big welcome to all of you who are returning to join us live today, and to all new viewers. We welcome you and we love that you are here with us this evening to join continuation of our talk with Elio D'Anna.
I hope, some of you already, that was, I think, a few months ago, quite a while ago. We had an episode with Elio, and we have big interest, lots of questions. So we met Elio again, and this time from Italy. We will be showing our interview and talk from lovely Tuscany. And so on slightly different angle, but you will see what I mean by that. So yes, send us questions, type it in. You can see us on Facebook, our Facebook page, on YouTube, and also through our website as well.
What we're talking about today is in one of the Elio's books, and across our conversations with Elio, often he said to us these words, be a king and the kingdom will come. So in other words, how we have to first become the person that we want to live the type of life we dream of, and that is all creation from within. So today's talk is kind of like digging deeper into that subject and getting the information or the tips and advice on how to actually be that king when you don't have the kingdom yet, you know, when you don't see all the wonderful things manifesting in your life, and all you have is the dream and the desire, but maybe it's just enough. And for many people, that's what you need to have, and that's the energetic level you need to align yourself with, you need to operate on, in order for all of that, all the kingdom, to manifest in your life. So that's today's talk about. And we have pleasure, Joanna said, recorded in Italy in a different scenario. Just wanted to welcome everything again and ask you to tell us where you're from, and just type the location where you're from, and join the conversation as well. So any questions you have for us or for Elio, type them in. Elio will join us live in the second half of this episode, later on Skype, and this will be your time to engage with the conversation.
Ask questions, yes, and you get an answer. And even if you watch on the replay, you can still ask questions, and then we will make sure we will get back to Elio and he can answer, and then we will put in a comment. So you will get your answer in both ways. But yes, of course, this will be your time later on. So ask questions, and whether it's related to the topic or Elio, or perhaps school as well, or any of other projects he does, or our InnerFire time.
I'm just keeping my eye on another device where we actually can see the chat and who's joined, and I can see Mark Padilla, Tatiana, Shayna. So hello to you. I know there are other people watching because you can see that you're here live. I don't know who you are, but welcome everyone. Thank you for thumbs ups and hearts, and we love all of those. Okay, I think it's time now to show you the talk that we have recorded with Elio, and get ready, because after this we come back live and Elio will join us, will join you, and be ready to have a direct conversation with you. So any questions, comments, again, type them in. If you're watching this on replay, it's a little bit harder to give back the answers straight away, but we will come back with answers. So you can still type the question in, and we will get you the answer in the same chat window.
So enjoy the talk, and we will all see you shortly for questions and answer, and we will make sure we welcome you by name. So just write your names as well, and I like the names. So okay, let's see the talk with Elio. Welcome to the additional episode of InnerFire Time. As you know, we share with you stories of people whose life changed the moment they turned the inner fire on, or they live with the inner fire on. And today is a special discussion, continuation of our episode with Elio D'Anna that we did a little while ago. Yes, that's true, with Elio. Well, we've done the episode some time ago, and we have lots of different questions from our audience. So, because we met Elio this weekend, we thought we will continue and make another episode, so another talk, so that you have more answers to the questions that might be running through your mind as they do run through our mind. So, Elio, welcome again.
Thank you for your invitation.
Oh, well, absolutely. Thank you for your invitation.
Yeah, this is in my house, but I'm coming in your program, and this is your house.
So last time we met and we talked about the inner fire within and how you live with this fire on and how you apply the philosophy of taking total responsibility for everything that is happening outside of you as being really your own creation, the dream, the creation
That's
of
right.
the dreamer.
That's right.
We had a number of questions and comments from people, and most of them very positive, and a lot of them around the idea of, there's actually two of them, around this concept of suffering. You know, people agree with that we suffer. But there's a number of comments around this idea of, like you put in your book, be the king and the kingdom will come. Meaning that you have to first be that person that you want to become, or if you want to manifest things.
That's right. That's right.
And I want to talk about this today, mostly because it's hard to do, isn't it? For instance, you may want to become a millionaire, and then how do you act, be the millionaire, but without millions yet?
Yes, that's
I'm poor, and how do I do it?
Yes, and I think
Good question.
many of us actually realize that then we need to do something with this, and then we will get that. But how to start, how to do it? That's probably people question is how.
Yeah, that's a good
That
question.
we had that.
You have to recognize yourself as the very creator of your own reality. Then if you find some limitation in your life, it means that those limits are within yourself. Then if you are not a millionaire, it's because you are indulging in a sort of scarcity consciousness, poverty within yourself, miserable thoughts and negative emotions. This is your very limits and sometimes conflicts that you got within yourself, and they are limiting your own reality. Then if you want to become rich, you have just to get rid of lots of stuff and negative emotions that are the very limitation to your prosperity and wealth.
So how will there are people out there who would say, well, how can I make this happen when I live in a poor economy, when there's just no opportunities for me out there, or I don't really, I'm not surrounded with people who can support me in any way, or I live in a country which is in war, and how is this idea of it's my thinking that can change the reality around me coming in?
Yes, it's to live in a world where poverty abides and war and conflicts are the protagonists of that country. it means that you yourself are projecting that conflict. If you stop having a war within yourself, I mean, you cannot live in that country anymore. And that reality disappears from your very eyes. And it seems magic, but you yourself are the very creator of your own reality. Then if you live in a very immoral and corrupted country, it means that you have to see that very corruptions and poverty within yourself. And this is hard to accept, but if you change your inner psychology, your inner being, you will see that your country will change.
Because I think people will say sort of like, oh, I'm the only one. I'm sure lots of people will say that. And how just me is me. So how me out of so many people can just change something? So they don't really see that bigger picture that starts within, and then it will happen. Obviously, you will see the world, as you said, world the way how we would like to create. So probably won't be any negative, any worse. And then if every of us will start seeing the same way, then it will be just beautiful words.
Yes.
So powerless. Yes, I think we.
In some chapters of my books, you will see that there is a chapter dedicated to the others, the otherness. The otherness is our creature. It's you yourself who creates the others. Then it seems that the others belong to a separate reality, but it is you yourself who are projecting.
Would you say we do that to find excuses, perhaps, for not letting to discover ourselves, our within?
This is the answer. Now you try to find excuses to remain in your own mediocrity and limitations. But if you become merciless with yourself, you will see that within yourself, if you really go deeply within yourself, you are free from all that stuff. And if you are aware of your freedom, you will see you will live in a beautiful world outside yourself. Then everything is up to you. This is my vision. All and everything is up to you.
What is freedom? What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom. Freedom is from identification, first of all. You know, we identify with the external world, believing that is the outer reality, and it is not. You are the only reality. Then you yourself have to change because the world outside yourself can change. Then you are the only protagonist and the director of the movie that you are projecting and creating. And if you turn towards yourself and see that all the disasters and beautiful things that happen in the world are depending upon you yourself. And this is a great way to become responsible for everything. Then if you are responsible, you cannot blame the others for your own misfortunes or difficulties, problems. If you are aware of yourself and you are responsible for yourself, you cannot complain anymore and find excuses, and you will be free from all those things, and this is the real freedom. When you are free, the world, the entire world is free.
Thanks, happening. So, to be a little bit more practical, perhaps, for the viewers, become the king. Okay, so what can we do, in your view, to practice
perhaps the way of being or the way of thinking to be that king before the kingdom.
Yeah, yeah.
In other words, to be someone that you would like to be, but we're not yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do we do?
From my point of view, there is no practice and no technology, no discipline, and no system or methods that you can become a king, because you cannot become what you already are. You are.
Yes, I mean, you are. Okay.
I mean, you just, you are a forgetful God who forgot her own nature, and you have just to remember. If you remember yourself as a God, as someone who created your own reality, you will see that reality will change. That is strange, but you see that the quantum physics has arrived to this, that you observing an object, you can change the nature of that object, and this is practical. I mean, if this is practical, if you observe something wrong within yourself, it disappears just through your self-observation. This is the way to change yourself, to return to be a king, a queen within yourself, and then mastering a reality outside yourself.
And maybe also there's also this element that maybe it's something to work on. Stop measuring yourself against other people. We do the comparison. Like you often compare. I compare myself to someone else. Sometimes we feel like someone is out here, out above me, like in terms of maybe career progression or maybe talent, fame, everything, and I'm here, or I'm here and some other people are down below, and that this, I believe this may create disconnection with that thing within you, that you are. Comparison, something comparing.
I didn't understand the question, but
it was more of a comment actually about the comparison. So, what is your point of view in terms of being the person that's always comparing yourself
with
to
the
other
others,
people, or comparing others with others?
If you are the creator, sorry if I always return on the same answer. If you are the producer and creator and dreamer of your own reality, the others are just reflecting and mirroring what you are, then you cannot compare yourself to somebody else with your own projection. You can only see poverty, that is your poverty, your scarcity within that is projecting outside yourself. And if you see someone that is, I don't know, you can say richer and wealthier than you yourself, it's because you are creating a division between you and the reality that you yourself are producing. Now, if you go back, if you return to yourself, you will see that everything you see outside yourself, everything that you touch, and also beyond all that, it's you yourself who is projecting all that. Then you have just to be aware of yourself, to understand what is going on in the outer reality.
Don't you think that comparing ourselves to others may be constructive sometimes when you want to progress? For example, it might be someone who wants to be a very successful entrepreneur and is looking up to others who are specific entrepreneurs who has achieved so many things.
Yeah.
And by just observing that person and comparing where I am to the person on top of this business ladder, it might help to find a way of developing your own skills or yourself as an entrepreneur, in which case comparison might be supportive.
Yeah, this is something that I am not so concerned about people that are, you say, probably admiring someone that is occupying a higher position. You should worry only about yourself and never to see and be concerned about the others or worried about the others. You have to worry about yourself and see that everything, all and everything is within you. All comes from within. And then if you realize this, you will see that reality will follow. Then be a king, and the kingdom will come. That means, return to what you really are, and you will see that the world outside yourself will shine in its splendor and beauty.
So maybe we don't need to compare, as you said, compare to others, just to sort of knowing that they're not kind of maybe here, but you want to be but within us, and then doing something with it. So we had this conversation before, and today sort of if you want to have that feeling, go to the store, which is and expensive, but you cannot afford to buy something. Just to go and just experience and just to feel that. You can, because it's your kingdom. You walk in as a king to the kingdom, and to start behaving this way, even if you know inside, it's not you, but I guess others, but obviously it's not others. It's
but you have to act.
But you act, yes, exactly. You act, and I guess that would be the practical way to sort of shift and change.
This is mindset. Good. We had an experience today, entering in a very expensive and luxury shop, and you see that they recognize you if you can buy the shop, the entire shop. You can tell them, please, I want to see this and that, I want to measure this and that, and they are there to serve you, just because they had the message that you are the one who can buy that expensive articles. And this is interesting because in every field, you want to enter into a very responsible job. And you have to be already there. Within yourself, you have to already occupy that place with your inner states, with your inner emotions and thoughts. You have to be already that part of that zone of existence.
So if you want to be a millionaire, you need to behave as a millionaire. But then the question is how you behave, how you think as a millionaire if you don't know.
Yeah, you have to be a millionaire in that very second, in that very moment. You have to be that. Otherwise, they will see your doubt within yourself. You are doubting yourself, and the kingdom, the entire kingdom, will fall.
That's well said, yes.
Yeah, you have to be really, you have to act impeccably that role, consciously acting that role. You enter into the shop and you choose that article. You don't buy it, but you have bought it within yourself, and the person who is serving you knows that you are the person who can wear that clothes and pay for that jewelry, and but you don't buy, you don't wear it, but you have just to be recognized as someone who occupies that zone of prosperity.
And talking about acting, people say sometimes, I want to try acting to discover myself, my personality, perhaps. So this is the good example, just you can do it anytime, every day, any minute, just to come out from maybe not who you are, if you don't know who you are, just do something out of the comfort zone, I would say. Because I would call it comfort zone, because it's not like you, but it's in you, within you, but you just need to push it out to be
you
more visible.
cannot do it with your own personality, just wearing a mask or something. You have to conquer it within yourself. You have to be a queen within yourself. For in that moment, you enter that shop and you enter into a jewelry shop. You have to be that person who can buy that, and you cannot just act, outside yourself that role. You have to be that person, and this is the most difficult. Otherwise, everybody could do this.
It's like you have to. You say you have to be. I would say you want to recognize that you already are that king, and it's challenging. But until that's my conclusion from our conversation, that until you recognize inside yourself that you are, then you won't be able to make others recognize.
That's right. The others will understand that you occupy that level of responsibility. Just if you are that responsible being, inner responsibility. And it's interesting. This is in all fields. It happens. I remember a story of Buddha. There was a young man went to Buddha Gautama and asked him to be part of his team, his group. And Gautama and Buddha says, have you been a thief in your life? Did you steal anything in your life? He said, never. Then go and steal, and then you will come back. You have to occupy all the levels just in one instant. And then you have to be all the pyramid in that instant. Then a leader has to occupy all the levels, below its very level of responsibility, because he has to contain everything. Sometimes we criticize our boss, just saying I could do better than him, but it's not true.
Yeah.
If she is your boss, it means that he's got something more than you have.
That's something you need to still discover and put it in action.
Probably he is something that you are.
There are
not.
so many layers to discover and to acknowledge in us in order to, on that practical level we call life, to have to have life that we dream of and we would like to manifest. So let's hope that we can talk about this a little more. We actually are working together on some more perhaps episodes and discussions that we can put together for you, so that it's together can make very positive changes step by step for all of us. So it's easier to understand and happy.
I suggest to read my books as a practical manual, really practical, to how we can deal with life, with the outer reality, and be successful. I mean, probably many people say that, but I tell you that many people think that I am writing spiritual books or esoteric books, but they are just practical. It's the way you can change and transform the outer events and circumstances at will.
Absolutely. So there's a guidance. There's a lot of guidance. I agree. I read both of your books, and there's a lot of wisdom. But it can only be useful when we actually start applying it to our life.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So
that's right.
more about this hopefully soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you again and share.
It's so nice.
Good.
Did you enjoy the house? Did you enjoy the
Oh, it's a
Boccaccio?
beautiful place, Boccaccio, Tuscany, wonderful. Everything, the painting, and it's just like, after reading your book, it's just like I would imagine. I walked in here, I thought like, okay, well, this is the dreamer designed the place.
You have to tell your audience that you are in Italy and in this moment.
We just saying everything. Yes, that's just saying. Oh, so thank you so much. Thank you everyone watching, and please comment and put questions together because we will come back with more talks and answers to anything that you may have on your mind. And we will definitely continue more from the book as well. So until the next. Until the next.
Thank you to all of you.
We're back for the live part. So that was the conversation continuation, and hopefully you receive even more understanding about the teaching and guidance that Elio is providing us over and over again. And I know we have some questions already. I wanted to also say hello to everyone that has commented, so we know who you are.
So hello to Jadwiga, Bans, Bio7, Marcia, Joey, Vlad, and yes, so and many others who we know we're watching, but we can't see the names.
This is your time now to have questions or comments, so type them in. We will be joining with Elio live in just about 3-4 minutes. So while we're connecting with Elio, I want to leave you for the few minutes time with some music, and please use this whether you just want to relax or reflect on what you've just heard, or maybe think about what you would like to say to our guest. That's your time to do it, and after the music we come back live, and Elio is going to join the discussion with all of you.
So for now, enjoy the music, and we will see you shortly.
And after the music, we back and almost ready to ask any of your questions that you have, and to continue the discussion about becoming the king, or being the king for the kingdom to come. I really like this, to be honest to say. I really like the idea. And thank you for all of you who just joined. I think I've just seen some more comments from Joachim. Oh, did you say Joachim? Hello, Joachim. Maria. Hello, Maria. And yes, see the comments and see the questions. So
we will ask the questions in a second.
So this is going to be the time. All right. Well, Elio is with us. So let's just welcome Elio. Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us from your home in Italy. Again, always a pleasure. I enjoyed, I enjoyed to review our talk again. I feel like it was just yesterday. It was a few weeks.
Yes.
A few weeks.
No, it was like 6 weeks ago. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. Yeah.
And we have some number of viewers who want to definitely engage and ask questions. So I think I may just go straight ahead and ask the first question from Vlad. And he asks this: when something not pleasant happens, when we have a bad thought, how does Professor D'Anna behave? What's a secret to change your mind, and especially controlling and directing it?
Yes, very quickly I tell you that when something strange happens in the outer world, I remain still. I just, turn towards myself and try to see that very thing corresponding to my inner states, and I can see that very thing is not independent from my inner states. That I created that person, or that person with the wrong thoughts and wrong attitude. then I have to see myself that I am the creator of that very person. And this is very difficult to accept because we will never accept the fact that the outer world is just a reflection.
Well, that's a very good explanation. That before I ask another question,
you are always responsible for whatever happens outside yourself.
So it's essentially taking the responsibility and the responsibility for the change.
You are responsible for that scene, for that for whatever is happening in the outer world.
So maybe it's more about acknowledge yourself. Actually, we are responsible. We know, but sometimes we just
because the world outside yourself is not a separate reality. It is yourself. And makes visible what you think that is invisible, and your inner states are, very become visible through the outer world. Then the outer world has no fault for whatever you see that is wrong or negative, but you have to turn towards yourself and see that. Negativeness and wrong thoughts are within yourself, and you are just the creator of that reality. Then the world is never wrong. The world is perfect. It's just telling you what is going on within.
Maybe it also gives you a chance to fix it. Maybe it might help when we look at the bad things that are happening as an opportunity to see through and to fix it. But on that point, there's a question I didn't ask you in our talks previously, and it's on my mind, and it has a lot to do with conditioning. Because when we're little children, this is when our character shapes, and it's the way it shapes is through repetition of certain behaviors, or we observe, or messages we listen to. We've been told, how to think, how to behave, etc. So it's a repetition, and then we end up having this system of beliefs in our mind. Maybe some fears, maybe some blockages, some good things, but also some not so very well serving us ideas. So how do we? And this tends to crop out, it tends to repeat itself throughout our lives. And what is your experience with breaking those patterns?
Those circles, like we carry on, right? We in the same circle.
Yeah, we believe that we became something in time, and the passing time we received some conditionings, from outside. But if you really understand what time is, you will realize that you are projecting your very life, the past life, just from this very moment. Then in this moment is happening all that you believe that happened in time, in so many years. Then you yourself are responsible also for the past. And then whatever happened in the past, you are just imagining right now what happened. Then you didn't live what happened in your life, but you are just projecting your past. Then this very moment, your inner state is projecting a very negative past, or all the accidents and problems you had in the past, just in this very moment. Then if you want to change something in your life, you have to return in this very instant and see that everything, past and future, is happening right now.
Be present.
Not very easy to understand, but little by little you will try to eliminate time and to remain in this very instant and see that this moment is very close of whatever happened and whatever is going to happen in the future.
I would like to present you the question from Maria right now. She says, I would like to understand why I keep acting like a slave when I know in my heart that I can be a queen. And most important, how I can change that. Thank you. Lovely to see you. And 2 hearts.
Yeah, I don't know what is your job. Maria, is it her name?
Yes, Maria. Yes, Maria.
But you know, the outer conditions are reflecting your inner. Then everybody can say, I feel that I am a king or a queen, but it is not so. We love so much our suffering. We love so much, you know, our negative things. And then we remain prisoners of our inner, you know, negative emotions and destructive thoughts. And you have to be very, very honest and sincere with yourself to see that if you live the life of a slave, it means that you want to be that condition, and you are expressing and projecting that slavery from within. And this is not, you know, it's not so nice to accept, to admit that if there is if you are depending upon something or someone outside yourself, it means that all that is happening within yourself, and then that slavery is within yourself. You are depending upon some negative states or destructive thoughts, and this is difficult to grasp it. Very difficult. You have to be within yourself and observe yourself to see that if you are depending on someone, upon something, it means that you want that. You really want it. Then you have what you love. Then it means that if you love suffering, you will receive suffering. And this is difficult to admit with ourselves, to see that we love suffering. This is very, very difficult to accept. It's very difficult to observe.
This is very difficult to accept as well, I think, that we love suffering.
But one day you will see that you are producing all that suffering from within. And that is the very place where you can find that you are loving suffering. And one day I will tell you why, but we have to go through many, we don't have the time to explain you, but you just observe yourself and you will see that all your problems and difficulties are within yourself, not outside.
So, but would you say that when you accept the suffering, you notice and you accept it, is this when the suffering starts disappearing?
That's right. If you really observe your wrong attitude, your inner wrong attitudes, they disappear. And this is, it's so simple, but we don't want to do that. We want to suffer. We won't be in a state of suffering because.
So it's like we won't accept. We actually do want to accept the suffering. So
probably we receive something from our suffering that could be I don't know. Believing that the world can help you, the world can give you some resources, and it's suffering is depending. Then when you stop depending upon something or someone, you stop suffering, and you will see that when the suffering disappears from within, the world, will change completely.
It's very interesting that we're talking about this suffering and noticing it, because in our world we also have a tendency of denying everything that is negative feeling. We always think like, I just want to think positive. I just want to feel joy. I don't want to go to all this dark place where I'm sad, where it makes me feel cry when I'm angry, right?
Yeah.
And maybe this is the first step towards noticing and accepting that, okay, there it is, that suffering that I am emotionally attached to. I like it.
Yeah.
We also have another question from Bayer, if I'm saying correctly, 7. How do you know when the kingdom is nearly built?
The kingdom and the kingship are one and the same thing. Kingdom is, we believe it is outside ourselves, and the kingship is within ourselves. But then states and events, the inner state of kingship is one thing with the outer reality, which is the kingdom. Then you have to be first a king within yourself, a queen within yourself, because a kingdom can come, can follow. Then how do you know that the kingdom is closed and is coming? You just have a look within yourself, and you will see that to be in a state of kingship, in a state of integrity, I can call it. The kingship. When you are in a state of integrity, you feel yourself, in a state of certainty, security, and safety, and you feel safe. This is the signal, the sign that you are living a kingship within yourself, and you just open your eyes and you see that the outer world recognizes you as the very dreamer and creator of its own reality.
Another question from Vlad. Why I am so attached to past, so nostalgic, and not focused in the present? What can I do?
Can you say it again?
Sure, of course. Why I am so attached to the past, so nostalgic, and not focused in the present? What can I do?
Yeah, because we think that the present is just a fleeting instant, goes, and you enter into another instant. But the instant is something very powerful, and it's something that contains all the past and all the future. Then we should be trained to live in the here and now, and that is something that no school, no university is going to tell you and teach you. This is something that humanity lives in time. We believe that time is our boss, is our the time rules and decides for us for everything, but it is not true. We create time, and we have to be in a state of timelessness to understand that we can move things outside ourselves. But the state of timelessness means that you have to understand that time is just a projection. It's something very, very, very limited by. And if you know how to live in a state of timelessness, you will see that you have some interesting power to change things in the outer reality. Then the state of timelessness is what I recommend to live.
Is there, Elio, some kind of like a technique to get in that state of timelessness? Perhaps one of the things that helped me in the past to be more present was to focus my entire attention on what I was doing in the particular moment. So, for example, things like I would be washing dishes, right? And my mind would go wandering, thinking about the past or future. And to try to be present, I would in that moment of washing dishes, I would focus on the water, on how it feels against my skin. I was look at the plates I was cleaning, and I've noticed this way I was just like my mind was not thinking, was still in a way. I was observing what I'm doing, but instead of thinking about 10,000 other things not related to the present.
Alexandra, why you wanted to be in the here now? There is a reason. There is a particular reason. That or just was just someone told you about this, let's say, technique, and you wanted to be in the here now, but you see your thoughts and your mind.
I wanted to practice being present, instead of, because a lot of times I've not. Why? Because of that, of what we just discussed, the timelessness, to feel that everything happens here and now. So what I've noticed, it distracts me from feeling this now, is the fact that my mind is going away from the now by thinking about the past or the future.
Yep, that is not the fact that you are thinking and going and let's say out of yourself. That is not something that you should stop. You will never be able to stop your mind and your thoughts to go to jump from one branch to another, like chimpanzees.
But you can direct them and shift the way you want to feel more maybe relaxed and present.
You shouldn't stop thinking. You should just observe yourself thinking. This is the here now. If you observe yourself thinking and observing your thoughts, that is great.
Okay.
But you should never stop, thinking. You will never, never be able to succeed. You have to, to start to observe yourself thinking. This is the here now.
Instead of being the thought, you're the one that is looking at the thought.
No, it's you will fail if you try to stop it. You will not succeed.
You're right. I think we have just time for the last question. So if you still have more questions, you can type them in, and we will get back with the answers, but probably after this episode, as we're coming to the end of this hour. But there's another question, the last one I can ask from Joachim. He says, I'm looking for my old path and the need to reignite my passion I had. Can I use the can I use the remember method perhaps?
No, I didn't get it.
So I'm looking for my old path and the need to reignite my passion I had. Can I use the remember method perhaps?
Yeah, I'm not able to get it.
Remember method. Maybe Joachim could explain a little bit.
Joachim Hanna. I'm looking for my old path. It's the evening.
Now I wish I could speak Italian.
Can I use the remember method? I don't understand.
Joachim, if you're still with us, could you just perhaps tell us what do you mean by a remember method? Because I think that's the question, right? What is the remember method?
The self-remembering method.
Perhaps that's what he
Perhaps,
meant.
so
I'm not sure.
hopefully Joachim will explain more what he wants to ask exactly, so we can get back to it.
I don't know if I got it right, but I can say that if you observe yourself and you are aware of something negative within yourself, you will they will disappear. If you are aware of something good within yourself, it will better and better. Then self-observation, self-awareness will help you to make things that are wrong within yourself, like negative emotions. They will disappear. And but if you have some passion within yourself, it will be reinforced. It will be, you will give more energy to it.
I think Elio, from what I understood, Joachim, he's probably thinking about the passion that he once had. He felt a passion in his life, and somehow maybe he's not feeling it anymore, and he would like to feel the passion again.
Maybe like reconnect with that passion again, perhaps.
That passion that he had in the past.
Yes, and he refers to remember method, how to feel it again.
Which are the passions? Passions for something. It's I don't know, when he was a young boy, or I don't know. I cannot answer something like this. It's if you have a passion, if it is a real passion, it will never die. You cannot come back to something that has disappeared from you, because that was not a real passion. If it is a real passion, it will remain. It is something eternal. Then if you forgot about it, it means that they were not real passion. Yeah.
That makes sense.
We lost you for a second. And I actually, yes, I do agree with this personally. I think the passion doesn't really goes away if it's really from the bottom of your heart. So Joachim, I think if you have it, if it was once there was real passion, it's still there. Maybe you just need to look deeper inside you. But if it's not there, perhaps it wasn't what you think it was. Maybe it's something else.
Yeah, like dreaming. If you have a dream, sooner or later it will be realized, and it's a matter of time, let's say. But the dream is something that is always with you. It's easier.
Okay, well, with that, I think beautiful ending, right?
Yes,
about passion and dreaming. So let's just keep the passion burning like the inner fire, massive flame. Elio, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I just want to say to all of you who are watching live, and thank you so much in joining the discussion for all your questions and comments. Elio will be back again. We do have another episode, and
we will have another episode in 2 weeks' time, so we will let you know. So we will continue again.
Absolutely, but
I wish you to remain within yourself, because the king and the queen is within yourself, and it is something that you already are. And you have to just get rid of lots of layers of something that you acquired from outside, believing that it was something true. Then if you get rid of all those layers of useless stuff, you will see that the king and kingship will come out from you. Then I wish you to return to your inner king.
Absolutely, and let's practice that, and let's find us. Let's be all kings and queens, and the world will be the real kingdom. Elio, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. That's from us,
and we will connect with you soon, some point.
Hello.
Thank you all for again for watching, and for all these questions and joining. We can see some new names as well: Serdan, Martin, Beautiful. I mean, it's always a pleasure to see you all connected and engaging. And we would like to finish with another music song from one of the plays we discovered.
I just want to say to you quickly, thank you to other people I haven't addressed yet. Sedar, hello, Joey, thank you, absolutely, thank you for joining us. Bio, you said that you would love to rewatch. This is going to be available on the replay anytime you want to watch, and you can also share. It's available on YouTube, on our InnerFire Time channel, on the InnerFireTime.tv website as well on the Facebook InnerFire Global. So pretty much you can go any social media and type in InnerFire Time and you will find this video, so you can watch it again.
This video, yes, and then as we mentioned, we will be back with Elio with another topic in 2 weeks' time. And
if you have questions that can come to your mind later, drop us a message or comment here and we can address them next time Elio will join us for the talk. So continuation it is. Okay, like Joanna said, we will leave you with music, and that's a massive thank you from us, and it's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed it to have you all engaging and making comments and just being with us in this discussion. It didn't feel lonely at all. Actually, it felt like a full room of wonderful people talking together. I love this. Big heart.
Yes, big hearts from us, as always. We love to share.
Lots of love. Enjoy the rest of your evening or day. I know it's a different part of the world that we are coming from today. So enjoy your time.
And we will see you next Sunday. So see you until then.